Tired of listening to the same old boring podcast bull? Then tune in to the Unnamed podcast, available on Anchor.fm and Spotify.com. You're listening to the Unnamed podcast with Midnight Lunatic, available on Anchor.fm and Spotify.com. And without further ado, here is your host, Midnight Lunatic.
What up, Midnight Crew, and welcome to another installment of the Unnamed podcast. We are back, and man, what a 2 weeks it has been. Let's see, the last time we talked, it was right before Thanksgiving, and I hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving, because I sure did. It was a good time. I had the day off, our work was closed for the day, so I had the day off, and I didn't see my family, but at the same time I got to see one member of my family, and I pretty much stayed home, drank a couple beers, and my roommate was actually grateful enough to get me a plate of Thanksgiving, and my cousin actually surprised me, and she came over with another plate of Thanksgiving food, and I'm telling you, I did not let any of that food go to waste. I ate everything inside. I demolished it. I mean, I shared with my dog. I gave her a little bit. She deserves some Thanksgiving food too. But the majority of it, I tore it up. I didn't leave anything behind. Those plates were empty by the time I got done with them. It was so delicious, and I wish I had extras. But the food's so good that you gotta eat it all at once. And Thanksgiving is a time where we just stuff our faces with food, right? And then 2 days after that was my birthday, and I also had that day off too. And I did the same exact thing I did on Thanksgiving. I stayed home. I relaxed. I, drank some more beers. Man, I drank a lot that weekend, I should say. That entire weekend, I drank a lot. Like, I was actually surprised with myself on how much I was able to drink. But I had a good time. I had a real good time. And for everyone that wished me a happy birthday, thank you so much. It really means a lot to me. And what's crazy, I'm just going to tell you a quick story before we get started here. The other day, I was at work, right? And I just clocked out. I was ready to go home. On my way home, I started thinking, I was like, man, I just have this feeling. That there's going to be this package on my doorstep. And I don't know. I had a feeling. I don't know where it came from. I don't know why I started thinking about it. I all of a sudden I was just like, I feel like I have a package. I don't know why. I did not order anything, but I feel like I do. And as soon as I got home, sure enough, there was a package at my front door. Weirdest thing ever. I don't know. I'm not a whatever you guys want to call it. I don't read minds. I don't know the future, okay? I'm not a time traveler or nothing like that, okay? But it was just weird, and it turned out to be a Christmas present that my mom and my stepdad had sent me, and it actually arrived earlier than what it was supposed to be. And it was just weird because I had a feeling, and then all of a sudden there was this package. Inside this package was from Amazon, and inside of that was I don't know if you guys know, but the Echo Studios, with the Alexa built inside, it's pretty much, I just activated it on accident, but it's one of those big speakers that has pretty much everything that you need in a speaker. And you can connect like your home stuff to it, like your lights, and if you have the Ring, you can do that, and it has all these cool features. And it was exactly what I wanted. And oh man, I've been using it every single day, and I'm telling you, I love it. I am in love with it. So Mama Lunatic, and Stepdaddy, thank you. I love you guys. Thank you for the gift and the $50 gift card you guys sent me on my birthday. Because of that $50 card, I did buy myself the new Call of Duty Cold War. And I gotta say, I've been playing that game pretty much every day too. I've been playing zombies nonstop, and man, the zombies are so fun on there. Multiplayer, I have not gotten into as much. Campaign, I started a little bit. I played about 15 minutes worth on the hardest difficulty, and man, it's so hard. But I'm trying to finish that campaign on the hardest difficulty on there, and I played 15 minutes of it. I got into like the second like mission story, whatever you want to call it. So hopefully I can complete it by the end of the year. Maybe, I don't know. We'll see. I'm in love with the zombies though. But before we get too far carried away here, let's go ahead and start off with everybody's favorite time fact of the week.
It's everybody's favorite time of the week. It's time for the fact of the week.
Yes, fact of the week. Are you guys ready for this one? So, fact of the week for this week states that getting multiple tattoos can help improve your immune system. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I got 3 tattoos. I got one on my right, I would say like right shoulder, like kind of like right upper arm, right? I also have one on my what would you call that area? Like right outside your arm, like man, my mind's throwing a blank. I don't remember what this part of the arm is called, but right on the outside of the arm, I got another tattoo, and the same on my left side. So I got 3 tattoos. I'm planning on getting more. I just don't know when and what I want to do, but I know I'm gonna get more in the future. And it's kind of crazy that it improves your immune system. I'm not sure how. Is it something to do with like something in the ink or something? I don't know, but that's crazy to me. And yes, multiple tattoos can improve your immune system. And I already have a good immune system, so I guess these tattoos are helping it even more. Now, for the topics of the evening, we don't have too much to discuss, but there was some things I want to talk to you guys about. So, Universal Studios. We've all heard of Universal Studios. So, Universal Studios in Japan. This is in Japan, not in Orlando. In Japan, it plans to open a $580 million Nintendo attraction on February 4th of 2021. So this is debuting a Nintendo park, a Nintendo like park. This is like where Nintendo, characters like Mario and Luigi and Bowser, like all these, characters are going to come to life. They're going to be in the real world, and it's crazy to think that like Nintendo is actually building their own like theme park, and I want to go so bad. It looks so amazing. It looks exactly like it does in the games. Like if you've ever played a Mario game, it looks exactly like it. And oh man, I'm so excited to see how they're gonna do it. So one of the first attractions will be Mario Kart, a Mario Kart ride inside the recreation of Bowser's Castle. So I think that's really, really cool that there's going to be a Mario Kart ride. Like, well, I love Mario Kart. My Switch, I play Mario Kart almost, every other day. Like it's one of those games where I've played for years. Like growing up, that was the game to go to, was Mario Kart. I love Mario Kart, and to see it being a ride and in Bowser's Castle out of all places, that's crazy. Now, if it was Rainbow Road, that would have been a whole different level. I would be so excited. I would try my hardest to go to Japan just to try to visit this if it was Rainbow Road. But Bowser's Castle, I mean, that's still pretty good. Still pretty good. Visitors, the visitors of this theme park, this is where it gets really, really cool. So visitors that go to the park, can collect virtual coins by wearing a dedicated wristband as they explore the area and interact with the park features via a Switch console. So if anyone that has a Switch can actually bring their Switch to the Nintendo park. Now you got to be careful. You got to be careful. If you're going to bring your Switch, you got to be, bring a case, bring your charger, and try not to leave it anywhere, okay? Just always have it on you, because I'm pretty sure, all these people are going to have their Switches, and there might be some funky stuff going on. I'm just saying. But yes, I think that's really cool. You can collect these virtual coins. I'm not sure what these virtual coins are going to be used for. Hopefully they are can be exchanged for like actual like things that you can like buy in like a gift shop or something. That would be cool. Or maybe these virtual coins can be used in like some type of like Nintendo like thing in like the shop or one of the games. I don't know. I don't know how it's going to work, but I think that's really cool. I mean, this is one of a kind. Like I've never heard of any other theme park that like can do this. And so I just think that's awesome. Can't wait for it to open and see what exactly it looks like. I kind of want to get like a virtual tour after it's open, just to kind of like see, everything that's in the park, and just, how everything's just laid out. So I'm kind of excited about that. I'm really excited about that. I love Nintendo. I love Mario. And this is bringing a theme park to a whole nother level. So great job, Universal Studios and Nintendo. I can't wait to see what you guys bring to the table. Now, moving on to quick topics. We don't have a lot to talk about, but we have some. So last Saturday, not this past Saturday, but the Saturday after, I think my birthday Saturday, I believe. I think it was my birthday. Mike Tyson versus Roy Jones Jr. That fight happened. Mike Tyson came out of retirement and actually had one more boxing match in him. And not only did they box, but it ended in a draw. It ended in a draw, guys. I really thought Mike Tyson, and everyone thought Mike Tyson was going to get the victory and get the win easily. But no, it ended, last round. They called it, and they just couldn't seem to get a winner. And what was awesome was Snoop Dogg was actually one of the judges and commentators of the fight. And if anyone knows Snoop Dogg, if you've ever played the UFC games, Snoop Dogg is just hilarious when it comes to commentating like sporting events, especially UFC fights, like just fights in general. He's so hilarious on what he says during these fights, and that the entire fight he was making some jokes, and it was hilarious. But yes, it did end as a draw. However, Nate Robinson versus Jake Paul, that was another fight. That was the fight before the Mike Tyson fight. Nate Robinson got knocked out by Jake Paul. Yes, Nate Robinson, the basketball player, got knocked out by Jake Paul, the YouTuber. That's oh man. Nate Robinson is getting some backlash after that too. I see memes everywhere about that. But yes, Jake Paul did get the victory over Nate, and Mike Tyson and Roy Jones ended in a draw. Now, it was a good fight, the Mike Tyson one. It was a little slow because, they're both pretty up there in their age, and a lot of people thought that Mike Tyson still has it. He still does. But as stamina-wise goes, his age played a factor in it. And I think, that was one of the things that kind of destroyed him the most in that match was his stamina. He couldn't really necessarily keep up. Roy Jones, however, looked even worse. Like, even though he was only retired for 1 year, he looked in worse shape than Mike Tyson did. And it was crazy. But it was still a good fight. And for anyone that watched it, you know what I'm talking about. For anyone that did not watch it, watch some highlights. You'll get a kick out of it. It's a very funny fight, if you ask me. Especially with Snoop Dogg. Snoop Dogg actually did a performance and played some of his hits, and it was a good show. It was a good time. Yes, it was a good time. Anyways, have you guys heard of the monoliths that are appearing throughout the entire world? No? Well, let me tell you. So in Utah, a monolith, which is pretty much this big metal, like kind of like a statue, kind of not even a statue, it's like a metal beam, if you will. Well, in Utah, it was discovered on November 18th of this year. Now, as some facts appeared, it was actually installed in 2015, so 5 years ago. People are barely just discovered it. And a lot of people thought, it was something to do with aliens. It was something to do with like Men in Black. It was something to do with like, some outer space terrestrial like thing. But no, it was nothing like that at all. Okay, the conspiracy theories can stop. Okay, I don't exactly remember what they said it was. I think it was like an artist or something. Something was going on. It wasn't nothing extraterrestrial. It wasn't nothing, alien wise, nothing like that. But I find it weird because it was installed in 2015. They barely discovered it this year. And then after it was discovered, a couple days later, it was gone. It disappeared on November 27th. So like a couple days after it was discovered, it was gone. Now get this. This is where it gets really crazy. In Romania, all the way across the world, this is all the way on the other side, opposite world. Another one was discovered on the same day that the other one was gone. So it was the one in Romania was discovered on the 27th. That's the same day that the one in Utah was gone. Now, what gets even crazier was that the one in Romania also vanished on December 1st. Now, in California, they found another one. And get this, the date that it was discovered, December 2nd. Now that's weird. That's really weird. The fact that like all these dates are exactly aligned perfectly together. You got, the Utah one that vanished on the 27th. Then the one in Romania appears on the 27th. Then it disappears on the 1st. And then you got one in California on the 2nd. What? How? That is unheard of. And I guess I don't know if it's the same one, if it's different ones. It's crazy. I heard that the monolith, though, is in 3 parts. It is put together in 3 parts. So they have to first tip it over and then take out, the 3 parts and then, load it and unload it that way. I'm not sure. Okay, I haven't really seen the videos or pictures of it being taken apart, but that's just what I've been hearing. Okay, and if you are on TikTok, okay, this is where I saw it. If you're on TikTok, you can find it. Okay, and there's a lot of conspiracy theories on there, so you just be careful on what you hear. But I'm telling you, it had nothing to do with aliens. Okay, and the dates, that's a coincidence. Okay, I don't really know what to think about that, but it is not having to do anything with aliens, and I don't know. I don't know what else to tell you. I just know it's not aliens. Now, moving on to NBA. Now, this is a crazy one. So the NBA and the National Basketball Player Association have agreed not to conduct randomized tests for marijuana during the 2021 season. So for this new season coming up, they're not going to do any random drug tests for marijuana. Now, according to the spokesperson for the NBA, I'm going to quote here. Due to the unusual circumstances in conjunction with the pandemic, we have agreed with the NBPA to suspend random testing for marijuana for the 2021 season and focus our random testing program on performance enhancing products and drugs of abuse. So what I just read, they are not going to test for marijuana. What they are going to focus on is steroids and other drugs such as like cocaine or all those other drugs. They're not going to test for marijuana, and I think that's great. Okay, I think testing for marijuana it's nothing anymore. especially here in 2020, where we'll talk about this in a second, but marijuana is not the issue anymore. It's especially in sports, it's the steroids, it's the performance enhancing drugs that pretty much is what I would look for if I was to do this. So I think this is a good call on the NBA, and pretty sure a lot of players are actually excited about that. I know a lot of players, especially retired ones, smoke marijuana, and I know they're probably excited about it. And for the players that are in leagues right now, I'm pretty sure they're excited about it too. I don't know. We'll see. But the NBA regular season, which will be 72 games, that is down from the usual 82 game schedule, will begin December 22nd. Now, the full schedule was unveiled on ESPN's The Jump last Friday afternoon. So if you're looking for the full schedule of your team, go and look it up now, because they're posted. And man, look, NBA, I haven't watched in a couple years. I'm a Bulls fan, and for anyone that does not know Bulls lately, these past couple years, they've had a rocky road. They haven't had much wins. They've had the majority of their games are losses, and so it just, man, I love the team, but I hate to say it, my team sucks. Now, maybe this next season will be better for us, but man, from what I've seen the past couple seasons, it's highly unlikely. We have such a young team that no one's really on the same page. They're pretty much just starting to know each other, and I think once they do know each other and get their rhythm, then they'll be a good team. But until then, we're going to keep, with the struggles. So we'll see. I mean, who knows? Maybe this next season we'll win the majority of our games and maybe make it to the playoffs. Who knows? We'll see. Now, speaking of marijuana, this is a huge one for the U.S. The House of Representatives have passed a landmark bill decriminalizing marijuana. So yeah, the House of Representatives passed sweeping legislation. I can't even pronounce the word. Legislation that would decriminalize marijuana and expunge nonviolent marijuana-related convictions. So what that means is they're pretty much trying to say that weed is legal federally. So we all know that there's states that are, saying that weed is legal, like Arizona, where I live. They just, legalize marijuana, but on a federal level, it is still illegal. Now, this is what this bill is trying to. Sorry if you could hear, that's my dog scratching. But this is what the House of Representatives bill just passed. Is they're trying to decriminalize marijuana on a federal level, so it would no longer be illegal on a federal level. Now, just because it was passed in the House of Representatives does not mean it is intact. Are you okay, Sam? Now, what this means is, now that it's passed in the House of Representatives, it now has to go through the Senate. Now, mind you, in the House of Representatives, the way it passed was because of the Democratic Party. They outweighed the Republican side. Now, in the Senate, this is a Republican-led Senate, which means that the Republicans are going to say no, and I don't think this bill is going to pass through the Senate. If it does not pass through the Senate, then there's no bill. There's no decriminalizing marijuana. It's going to stay the way it is, and it's going to stay illegal on federal grounds. Now, some things can change. We'll have to see. But in the meantime, I don't think it's going to change if Republicans will vote no, and I'm pretty sure 99% of them will. Now, the measures to decriminalize it is aimed at the rolling back drug policies that have affected low-income communities of color. So what they're trying to do is just say, hey, let's just legalize it, because a lot of people of color, households and communities of color, they tend to smoke more. And 80% of our arrests come from drug related possessions and all this. So they're trying to just kind of just say, hey, if we legalize it, people of color, I don't know why they're using color in this, but people of color won't get arrested as much, which means jails won't be overrun by people that have just had possession of marijuana or was under the influence. It'll free up space in jails, and it'll make room for actual criminals that have committed real crimes. Now, the vote was a 228 to a 164 vote to approve it. Now, this was the first time that either chamber of Congress had ever endorsed the legalization of cannabis. The bill would then authorize a 5% tax on marijuana that would fund community and small business grant programs to help those impacted by the criminalization of marijuana. So if it was to become legal, there would be a 5% tax on the sales of marijuana. Now, for those states that are already legalized, they already, I believe it's like an 18% tax, depending on where you're from. But here, I think it's an 18% tax rate. Now, that's a lot. That is a lot. And the taxes already go to like the community, the schools, things like that, small businesses. It already goes to that. Now, if it was to go federally, you're going to see another 5% tax on top of already, that tax that's already going on. Now, this is good for the community, and I don't see why it even is a big deal anymore. I mean, everyone knows that marijuana is not a drug, it's a medicine. And I believe we've talked about this before in the past. It's not a drug, it's a medicine. And hospitals, they will prescribe their patients with pain, marijuana. And I'm telling you, it heals. And it is not a gateway drug. Okay, I don't care what anyone says, it is not a gateway drug, because I have smoked it, and I have not wanted to take anything. I don't want to take cocaine or heroin or PCP or any of that. I no no no, I don't. I never wanted to do that. So it is not a gateway drug. Okay, I don't care what anyone says. Okay, weed is a healing drug, and some people have fun with it. Some people abuse it. For those that don't, they use it medically. That's good. That's great. I for one have used it for my depression, anxiety, pain, things like that. I've never once took advantage of it. Never. Now, 15 states have legalized recreational cannabis, being the number of states where marijuana is legal to 35. So now there is 35 states that have legalized medical marijuana. That is crazy, 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 crazy. And where I'm from, Arizona, we become one of those states. Now, the law would require federal courts, I should say, to release those serving sentences for non-violent marijuana-related offenses. So, like I said previously, this will set up grant programs focused on providing job training. So all these convicts, so you speak, will now get a job training. They will get legal aid and substance. Man, I cannot talk today, guys. I cannot talk. Substance use treatment. So for those that are kind of addicted to it, that want to stop but can't because it's so hard, they can actually get treatment for it. So, as well as grants for small businesses in the marijuana industry led by low-income and minority business owners. Now, physicians with the Department of Veteran Affairs will also be allowed for the first time to recommend medical marijuana to their patients. So this is for the older people, older generations. If they, decide, hey, I need some marijuana, doctors can actually now recommend it. And I think this is great. This is awesome. This is great. This is good news. I'm all for marijuana. Okay, I like it. Okay, I like what it does. Okay, and this is probably news for some people that are listening right now. I've never really talked about my experiences on it, but yeah, I think this is a great job. I think it's awesome, and I think it's a good business move for communities overall. I mean, you're taking something that people already buy a lot of, and you're now going to use some of that for the communities around you. That how is that not good? How is that not good? I mean, if you ask me, I I'm 100% aboard. All right, I'm 100% aboard, and I think this is great. Now, something I want to talk to you guys a little bit about before we get out of here. We are coming up at the end of the year. It is crazy. It's crazy time. Um, the upcoming episodes, I'm not too sure if I'm going to have an upcoming episode until next year. These couple next weeks are going to be pretty crazy and busy for me. I'm trying to work as much as possible so I can get my hours up and my funds right, because I plan on taking a week off of vacation so I can go down and see my family for Christmas. A lot of planning has to go in that, a lot of time. Since I only have the one day off, that is the time that I use to do everything around the house, things like that, and all my packing I got to do in the future for this trip. I gotta take my dog with me. That's another issue I'm trying to figure out here. But yes, a lot of things are happening in the next couple weeks. Bless you. Yes, so it is going to be a busy time. So I will try my hardest to get an episode out. If I can't, I'm very, very, very sorry. I will try my best to get one as soon as I can, but I don't know if I'll get one out before New Year's. We might just have to wait for the new year to come up. But I'm going to try my hardest, like I've always been. I've always tried to get an episode out for you guys. I just don't want to feel like I'm being rushed anyway, to where it kind of seems half-assed. I know these past couple episodes, it kind of seemed half-assed. I was kind of like just everywhere with it. But it is what it is. I try what I can with what I have and the time that I have. Sometimes it doesn't go as I planned, but like I say, the show must go on, and you got to be flexible with what you have, right? And that's exactly what I'm trying to do. Be as flexible as I can. Um, but yeah, marijuana. Look, now this is gonna come as a shocker to some people in the family, but I do agree with marijuana, and I am one of those people where I do indulge myself in it. Um, not too much, but I do it to help with my eating, because I have not been eating right the past couple weeks. It's been really hard for me to find an appetite for me to eat, and so it kind of just helps me out with that. Sleeping wise, my sleeping pattern is kind of messed up. With I'm a night owl, but I work all day, so it kind of like messes up my sleeping pattern. So it helps with my sleep. Um, Anxiety, depression, I haven't had that happen in a while, and I believe it's because of the marijuana. Um, but yes, I don't abuse it. I use it for medical purposes, such as what I just said. Um, and I 100% agree with decriminalizing it, and I think it's going to better everyone, to be honest. Still, do not smoke and drive. Do not go to work high. Do not do anything with machinery while you're under the influence of marijuana, because it can impair your judgment and your thinking. That's why I do it in the comfort of my own home, when I know I'm safe. Um, Especially now that it is legal. Um, it's it's really helped me out. And if you guys are dealing with any type of mental issue, or just physical pain or something, just give it a try in the comfort of your own home. If you're not safe doing it alone, if it's your first time, do it with someone. You don't even have to have that person do it with you. Just kind of have them just there with you for like a support, I guess. But yes, this might come as a shock for some, for others, not so much. But yes, I am all for it, and it's helped me. And this is the first time I've actually spoke publicly about this. I know a lot of my family is against marijuana, but I'm sorry. Okay, it is not a drug that it's going to lead to anywhere. It's just, it helps me out personally with my issues. Okay, and if that upsets you, that's okay by me. Be upset. I'm not going to stop for anyone other than myself. I am a grown adult, okay? I can make my own choices in life, and this is the choice I make, okay? Now, enough about that. It is time to end the episode here. I have to go walk my dog because she has been crying the past 2 hours to go outside, and I've kind of just ignored her to do this. So I gotta go do that, take her outside so she can do her business, and then do the rest of my activities for today, and watch football. I got my team plays the day that this is released on Monday, and we're still undefeated. Don't know how, but we still are, and I love it. And hopefully we can go all the way to the Super Bowl. We'll see. But anyways, guys, Midnight Lunatic signing out. I love all you guys. Hopefully I see you guys soon. If not, I hope you guys have a great Christmas. Spend it very, very safely. Try not to do anything too crazy, okay? If I don't see you before New Year's, Happy New Year's, and we'll talk to you soon, as soon as I can, guys. I'm trying my best here, but like I said, it's gonna be a couple busy weeks for me, and I don't know how well I'm gonna be able to manage everything, but I'm gonna try. Now, Midnight Lunatic signing off. I love you guys. See you guys later. Bye bye.